I promised that I was going to finish reacting to Chappell Roan's Tiny Desk, and here we are with my next installment. This is California. Many of you mentioned you wanted me to react to this one, so I'm super excited to do this. And I also wanted to let you know that I believe this merits enough reactions. I think I'm up to like 5 now of Chappell Roan, so I've made a playlist. So go over to my homepage on this channel, and the playlist tab, you're going to see Chappell Roan right there. So send that to all of your Chappell Roan friends, your pink ponies, or your chaperones, or your chaplains, or your whatever we're calling the fans of Chappell Roan. So here we go. Without further ado, I'm going to jump in and start listening to this. Let's do it.
We're going to sing California for you. So I'm just going to drink. I stretched myself across 4 states, new lands, West Coast, where my dreams lay. I trade amber clay roads for the sea foam and the endless sun rays. And I was never told that I wasn't gonna get the things I want the most. But people always say if it hasn't happened yet, then maybe you should go. Come get me out of California. No leaves are brown. I miss the seasons of Missouri, my dying town. Thought I'd be cool in California and make you proud. To think I almost had it going, but I let you too hard to find reasons to stay. Even true love could not persuade. And I was never told that I wasn't gonna get the things I want the most. People always say if it hasn't happened yet, then maybe you should go. Come get me out of California. No leaves are brown. I miss the seasons in Missouri, my dying town. Thought I'd be cool in California. I'd make you proud. Do you think I almost had it going, but I let you down? Come get me out. Come get me out. Come get me out. Come get me out. Come get me out of California. No leaves are brown. I miss the seasons in Missouri, my dying town. Thought I'd be cool in California. I'd make you proud. To think I almost had it going, but I let you down.
I think that's the most emotional one off of this whole performance. I think this might be my favorite one. Oh, I can't believe that I'm waiting till now to react to this one. Oh, that just ripped my heart out completely. That was so beautiful. That message, I mean, God. I can relate to this in about a million chapters of my life. I've been a performer in many different ways throughout my life, and I've reinvented myself many times, and I've traveled to new places to start things and felt homesick and oh my God, like this is so relatable. I can think about the time that I left when I was studying opera at the University of Buffalo and I moved to Bermuda and how scary of a transition that was. And then the transition to grad school in Illinois, and then the transition from Illinois to Germany when I was singing there. And I mean, oh, this feeling of missing home, this feeling of going out to somewhere new to start a new thing and having it not work out and feel like you want to go back to that last chapter of your life. Oh my God, that is, she portrays that so beautifully. And this arrangement of it with the strings and the intimacy of it in this context, oh, it was so beautiful. What a lovely first impression for me to this gorgeous song. So now I'm going to go back and stop and start and say a bunch of things that I hear about this track. What a beautiful track. Okay, first off, I just want to say these drums are so cool here. Again, if you watch one of my other reactions, I forget which one, I was just blown away by this drummer here and the cool stuff she's doing. Now, what a clever solution, covering up the drums with a towel and using mallets to try to give this sort of warm effect and not overpower the room. In that context, her playing full out, like full blast away, could be a bit much and overpower some of the other instrumentation. So this is a clever, sensitive decision by the drummer to play like this, and it works so well with this sound.
I stretched myself across 4 states.
So why is she counting like this? She's counting like this because the rhythmic lilt of the melody doesn't give a super exact feeling of where beat 1 is in the measure. Whenever we're doing music together, for the most part with pop songs, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how the band and the singer all sync together, as we all have this ticker in our mind keeping track. This has a very interesting rhythmic feel to it, so she's doing this counting so that the band can feel when to come in.
I stretched myself across 4 states, new lands, West Coast, where my dreams lay. I trade.
That little crack in her voice right there. I love when things like that happen, where there's just a spontaneous little break in the voice based out of the emotion of what the artist is feeling. That's an artist. That is authentic artistry, spontaneously expressing itself, emoting, coming into the moment. Oh, listen to that.
Where my dreams lay, I trade amber.
Listen to how delicate her voice is right here, how light it is, how minimal her expression is. Notice she's not singing here. It's almost like she's talking on the notes in this little scratchy, whispery, beautiful, intimate voice. I love that.
Play roads for the...
She's got airflow in it. There's a little auditory roughness, which is that hissy sound. It's just really, really beautiful.
My dreams lay.
I love her vibrato. Her vibrato is just so in control. It's got the right amount of pitch variation in it. Vibrato is a wiggle up and down in pitch. And her vibrato is tight like a pop singer should be. You don't want, as a pop singer, for your vibrato to be too wiggly, like an opera singer or a throwback jazz singer. Her vibrato is perfect for a pop singer.
I trade amber clay roads for the...
And by the way, those of you who saw my Good Luck Babe reaction to her performance on the Jimmy Fallon show, there was that digitized moment in the bridge where I was hearing her vocals, and a lot of you were saying, no, that's just her vibrato. I know she has a fast vibrato, okay? It wasn't that I was hearing. What I was hearing was this little digitized sound. It sounded like a digital artifact, like a little glitch or something in the sound. That's why I kept going back, by the way. I feel like I've answered that like a million times in the comments, so I'm just saying that right now here.
Sea foam and the endless sun rays.
These beautiful little orchestra sounds here are just so magical. It's almost like I'm transported to like a Mediterranean beach or something like that. It's so transformative and beautiful.
And I was never told that I wasn't gonna get the things I want the most. But people always say if it hasn't happened yet, then maybe you should go.
So first of all, I'm putting on my interpretation hat. The message here is just so beautiful. How many times does this happen where an artist goes out to California or New York and things don't work out the way they hoped that they would? Like, this is such a classic story, and it's so relatable. And it's not just for artists, too. This is something that happens to every person in every walk of life. It's a very relatable concept. Things don't turn out the way you planned. It's like, welcome to being a human being, right? Like, it happens to all of us. And she's portraying it so honestly and so beautifully here, so vulnerably.
Come get me out of California.
Oh, okay. So we got to talk about that from now. Voice teacher hat back on. Get me out of California. Listen to her control of the registers in her voice. She's down. She's in a light, husky tone in the lower register of her voice. And then all of a sudden, she powers her voice. She thickens her chords a bit. She gets a little vocal fold closure. She lets the back of her throat close a little bit. Her vowels go lateral. We add power. And it's a seamless transition up into the more power side of her voice. Then she comes back down. Wow. And she hasn't been there for a minute. She's just been in this light sound. So good.
Maybe you should go. Come get me out of California.
That.
No leaves are brown.
Do you hear she goes, "Pra-" she's doing this little catch release thing as she's stepping down her voice there. That's hard to do, and that's weird. That's not a normal pop thing. That's a Chappell Roan thing right there. Listen for that little step down thing she's doing. This is tied into her little yodel technique, and that yodel technique, by the way, is a pressing of the thickening sound of your voice, and then you quickly let go of the thickening. That's where that yodel effect comes from. Yodelay, yodelay. She does it all the time so brilliantly, and it adds such angst and authentic emotion into her performance. But listen to that little step down catch release thing she's doing with the thickening and thinning. That is so hard to do, and that's just like a little part of her technique that she throws in.
No leaves are brown.
Did you hear that little ha, ha, ha? That's so cool and weird at the same time. I love it.
It's the seasons of Missouri.
As you can see, as a vocal instructor, I've been doing this so long. I love when people do innovative new things in their singing. Like, it just excites me that the movement of singing technique in the popular world of vocal music is going different places. Like, I love that stuff.
My dying tale.
Oh.
Cool in California.
Listen to her tone quality diversity. I put her in the category of Adele in that respect. She's all over the place in her tone quality, the same way Adele is. She'll be husky on a syllable. Then she'll switch and be brassy on a syllable. Then she'll have grit on the next one. Then we've got a little vibrato falling down thing. And then we end with a little pop up. It's like she's all over the place vocally, and she does it in such an intuitive way. She has complete control and fluency of her contemporary commercial music vocal paintbrushes. She just grabs them at will. That's what you want. As a singer, you want to have technical fluency in your singing like Chappell does.
I'd make you proud to think I almost had it going, but I let you down.
Oh, and that hook. The hook to this song is so sticky. It's stuck in my head. I'm going to be singing it all day, I know for sure. Because this is the first time I've listened to it. Come get me out of California. Da, 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 da. I've just heard this song, and that is like an earworm just going around in my head. So beautiful. Oh, it's emotional. And again, what makes great songwriting? What makes great songwriting is writing a song that makes people feel something. We all feel something for sure from listening. I know if you're watching this video, you felt something because you're probably a fan of this song. And I'm a fan of the song now, too. It's really beautiful. It's super, super beautiful. This great, great, great songwriting, Chappell. And it's such an intimate, delicate arrangement, such a mature arrangement. You know, this is an arrangement that you would get from seasoned musicians who have been doing this their whole lives.
Too hard to find reason.
I love these drums, that little muted tom. Du-du-du-du-du-du. It's such a great, appropriate sound. If she opened it up and just fully played the toms open, I think that would have been too much. But that little delicate sound is just so cool.
To stay even true love could not persuade.
Those strings create such longing there, don't they? What a beautiful sound tapestry behind Chappell's lyrics and melody.
And I was never told that I wasn't gonna get the things I want the most.
She sticks a lot to conventional song form, you know, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus, you know, that whole sort of song structure. She sticks to it so well. And I love that she does that. She finds innovation within the conventions of song form that already exist, which makes it that much easier to plug into her. It's like we have these great receptors built for receiving her music.
People always say if it hasn't happened yet, then maybe you should go. Come get me out of California. No leaves are brown. I miss the seasons in Missouri. I die in town. But I'd be cool in California. I'd make you proud.
That step down thing, I can't tell you, it's so cool. And, you know, I've been teaching voice for a long time, and I do all sorts of weird stuff with my students on vocal techniques and things. And I can tell you, that's a tricky one to do. I actually want to start trying this. I'd love to work on a cover of this with some of my students and see how they can do it. I've got a few students I know that I think can do that, but now I'm going to have to try to see who can do that in my studio.
Almost had it going, but I let you down.
And that whole feeling, now back to the interpretive hat, this whole feeling of feeling like you left your hometown and everyone's rooting for you and everyone thinks you've made it, only to find out that you haven't made it and that you've got to come back home with your tail tucked between your legs. Like, actually, there's a musical written about that in a different context, not about an artist, but about a person leaving home and coming back and feeling like she failed her community. It's the musical In the Heights. I highly recommend checking that out if you're a musical theater nerd. It's a great musical. It's beautiful. It's just a great show. Check it out. Now we have this warm, lovely little bridge outro. I can't remember if she does a chorus after this bridge outro or if she just kind of lets it go out like this. It almost felt like the song was ending there for a second, but then I thought, wait, Chappell can't do that. She loves her bridges too much.
Come get me high.
Do you hear that air usage in this sound here? I spoke about this in one of my other Chappell Roan videos. As a contemporary commercial music singer, you have to have that hissiness, that air sound in your voice, or that just sounds like musical theater. Listen to how she's doing that so nicely here.
Come get me high.
Hear that?
Come get me high.
Same thing.
Come get me high. Come get me, yeah.
I love that little riff right there. Ah, so good.
Come get me, yeah.
Right there.
Come get me out of California. No leaves are brown. I miss the seasons in Missouri.
This is great singing. This is great singing. What is great singing? It's emotional communication. It's expression. It's being a conduit for what the song is about, what you want people to feel coming through you, and just getting out of the way. That's what that is right there. Don't you feel what she's feeling? That's great singing.
My dying town, though that be cool in California, I'd make you proud to think I almost had it going, but I let you down.
So, okay, let's do our claps. Did you notice everyone kind of was like, oh my God, I got to clap now. Oh, they were like so emotional. You can tell the people in the room were blown away by that. I wasn't sure if she was going to go back to one more repetition of the chorus, which is what usually happens after a bridge. If you've heard me talk about bridges in the past, you know I love a great, weird, interesting bridge. Chappell Roan loves bridges too. She does them all the time. A bridge as a thing in a song is there to create a deviation from the musical material we've heard up to that point in the song, so that when we come back to the musical material, we've got a refreshing feeling of it, which further helps it stick in our mind. So when we walk around later on in the day, we've got the melody kicking around in our head from the hook. You know, that's the idea of a bridge. But right here, she kind of went into almost like a long outro. It wasn't quite a bridge. It was really more of a slow, beautiful, winding down outro, kind of like her intro to the song. I love the intros and outros of the songs and the way they're presented here in the Tiny Desk. I don't know the other songs, like the studio versions of the songs, and I'm probably going to react to some of those as well, just because I'm curious myself to hear the differences in the arrangements and things like that, because I know it's going to be creative in a different way than these are creative. So I'll go check those out, but she is spectacular. I'm such a fan of Chappell Roan, and don't forget to go check out my playlist of my other reactions to her stuff. It's really fun to get to watch her and see all the exciting new things she's doing. I can't wait to keep reacting to her and also getting into more of her backlog on her YouTube channel and her album, because there's still tons of her stuff that I haven't reacted to yet. So stay tuned for more of that coming, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you like my content. Sending lots of love out there to you fans of Chappell Roan, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.